Your mouth is the gateway through which the invisible becomes visible. Every word you speak plants a seed in the garden of your life. If you scatter weeds of doubt, lack, and limitation, you will surely harvest them. But if you speak only of abundance, health, and opportunity, these blessings will be drawn to you without fail. Remove idle chatter, complaint, and fear from your lips. Speak not of what you lack, but of the boundless supply that already surrounds you. Declare, my supply is limitless, my blessings are constant, my opportunities are overflowing. Speak these truths as if they are already yours, because they are. The law is simple. What you verbalize, you magnetize. Guard your words as treasures, for each one shapes the life you live. Let every sentence affirm your faith in the infinite, and watch your world transform into a reflection of that limitless supply. Words are seeds. Speak only those that grow abundance. Every utterance carries within it the power to take root in the soil of your life and bear fruit in due season. If you plant seeds of plenty, gratitude, and faith, your harvest will be rich beyond measure. If you sow seeds of lack, fear, and doubt, you will reap only the thorns of your own speech. The law is precise and unchanging. You cannot plant thistles and expect roses, nor can you speak poverty and expect prosperity to arrive at your door. Your mouth is the gardener of your destiny, and the crop depends entirely on the words you choose to sow. The careless tongue squanders its power by scattering weeds in idle talk, complaints about what is missing, gossip about others, and endless rehearsals of fears and failures. Such talk robs you of energy, draws to you more of the same, and blinds you to the storehouses already overflowing with supply. Every conversation is either building your fortune or draining it. If you wish to live in abundance, you must ruthlessly prune your vocabulary of every word that speaks against your good. The world is shaped first in thought, then in speech, and finally in action. Thought sets the mold, speech fills it with substance, and action brings it into form. Many believe that thoughts alone shape destiny. Yet thought unspoken is a seed unplanted. It is the spoken word that sets the creative law into motion. When you declare a thing with conviction, you invite the unseen to take form in the seen. You are not simply talking, you are commanding, instructing, and directing life itself. Train yourself to speak only in the language of supply. Speak of what you desire as though it is here now. Let I have replace I wish. Let it is mine replace I hope. When you speak as one who already possesses, you step into the vibration of possession, and that vibration draws to you its equal. Faith-filled words are like magnets. They pull into your world the very essence they declare. Fear-filled words are the same, only they pull lack instead of plenty. It is not enough to simply remove negative speech. You must fill the vacancy with words that affirm abundance. Declare daily, my supply is unlimited, my blessings are constant, and every door opens before me. Do not recite such words mechanically. Feel their truth. Imagine the reality of them until your heart overflows with certainty. Life responds to the feeling behind your words more than the words themselves. Empty affirmations are like planting seeds in dry sand. They cannot grow. But words spoken with conviction are planted in the rich soil of belief, and from that soil they cannot help but produce. Guard your conversations as you would guard a vault of gold. Do not allow yourself to speak of lack, even in jest, for the law does not distinguish between humor and sincerity. It only hears the vibration and acts upon it. How many fortunes have been delayed because someone spoke lightly of their bad luck or poor situation? These phrases are like thieves, quietly stealing from the treasury of your good. Replace them with statements that honor the truth of infinite supply, and you will see how quickly your circumstances begin to change. When you meet with others, let your words lift, inspire, and expand. Speak of possibilities, not problems. Speak of solutions, not obstacles. Speak of health, joy, and progress, and watch these very things multiply in your own life. Just as a musician tunes their instrument before a concert, tune your speech before you engage with the world. Ask yourself, will the words I am about to speak create more abundance or less? If they create less, keep them unspoken. Silence is far better than speech that plants seeds of want. Be mindful, too, of the way you speak about others. Every word you speak about another is also a seed you plant in your own life. If you speak of another's failure, you invite failure into your own experience. If you speak of another's success and blessing, You invite that same blessing to visit you. Praise freely, bless generously, and you will find your own harvest overflowing with good. There will be moments when the temptation to speak limitation is strong. Perhaps a bill arrives, or a deal falls through, or circumstances seem to tighten. In these moments, your words matter most. Anyone can speak abundance when the sun is shining and all is well, but the one who speaks abundance in the midst of apparent lack is the one who proves mastery. Say in the face of the bill, "My supply is already on its way." Say in the face of delay, "Everything arrives at the perfect time." These words are not denial, they are declaration. You are not ignoring reality, you are shaping it. Your life will always expand to meet the measure of your speech. If you speak small, your life remains small. If you speak large, bold, and fearless, life will rise to match your words. This is not superstition, but the unchanging law by which thought and speech operate. You cannot outspeak your faith, and you cannot outlive your speech. The harvest is always after its own kind, and your lips are always sowing. The greatest discipline you can develop is the discipline of the tongue. A disciplined tongue speaks only what it wishes to see, refuses the temptation to dwell on what it does not wish to experience, and uses its power to summon the best and highest in every situation. Such discipline does not happen overnight, but with practice, it becomes second nature. And when it does, your speech becomes a constant stream of life, blessing, and supply. Remove complaint, gossip, and limitation from your vocabulary, for these are the poisons that silently choke the life from your blessings. Every time you complain, you affirm the very condition you wish to escape. Complaint is an agreement with lack. It declares to the world and to yourself that something is missing, that you are at the mercy of circumstance, and that your good is far from reach. Gossip is no better. It drains your spirit, scatters your focus, and sows seeds of discord that inevitably return to you. And limitation, spoken aloud, is the gate you build with your own words to keep abundance out. These three, complaint, gossip, and limitation, are the thieves of supply. And until they are banished from your speech, the treasures that are yours by divine right cannot fully flow to you. Life responds to the tone and content of your words more faithfully than you may imagine. The law is impartial. It does not weigh your intentions, only your declarations. When you speak of problems, they multiply. When you speak of blessings, they grow. Your mouth is a builder. It constructs either a prison or a palace with every sentence. To continue to speak complaint is to add bricks to the walls of your own confinement. To speak only of abundance is to lay the foundation of freedom, opportunity, and supply. Every time you are tempted to voice a complaint, pause and replace it with gratitude. Instead of saying, "I never have enough," say, "My needs are always met in perfect time." Instead of saying, "People are so unfair," say, "Life is just and always brings me the right people." You are not lying when you do this. You are choosing to speak in harmony with the truth of unlimited supply, rather than the illusion of lack. The moment you change your language, you begin to change your conditions. Gossip, too, must be uprooted from the garden of your speech. Speaking of another's faults or misfortunes may feel harmless or even entertaining in the moment, but it is planting seeds of discord in your own path. When you speak ill of another, you align yourself with that same energy, and what you align with, you attract. If you speak of another's failure, you open the door for failure to visit you. If you speak of another's abundance, you invite that same abundance to come near. Choose your alignment wisely. Bless others in word, and your own life will be blessed. Limitation is the subtlest of the three poisons, for it often hides in casual phrases that seem harmless. "I can't afford it. It's too hard. That's impossible." These statements are declarations to the universe that you have closed the door on possibility. They may seem like simple observations, but in truth, they are commands, and life obeys them. When you say, "I can't afford it," life says, "Very well, you shall not afford it." When you say, "It's too hard," life says, "Then it will remain hard." Instead, train yourself to speak in terms of possibility and provision. Say, "The way will appear." Say, "The means are on their way." Say, "I am fully able, and the perfect support comes to me now." The mind follows the mouth. When you begin to remove these three poisons from your vocabulary, you will find that your thoughts themselves start to change. The absence of complaint leaves space for gratitude. The absence of gossip leaves space for admiration and inspiration. The absence of limitation leaves space for vision and courage. And as your thoughts change, your conditions change, for life is always a mirror reflecting the pattern you have spoken into it. It is not enough to simply avoid negative words. You must actively replace them with words that call forth the reality you desire. If you do not fill the void with truth and abundance, the old patterns will return. When tempted to speak complaint, speak praise. When tempted to gossip, speak encouragement. When tempted to voice limitation, speak possibility. This is how you retrain your tongue, and in retraining your tongue, you retrain your destiny. Do not underestimate the difficulty of this task at first. The habit of complaint can be deeply ingrained. Gossip can creep in disguised as concern. Limitation can hide in the language of realism. But with vigilance, you can catch these words before they escape your lips. You can turn the stream of your speech toward the current of good, and once that current gains momentum, it will carry you far beyond the place where complaint, gossip, and limitation could ever reach you. The reward for this discipline is immense. When you no longer give energy to lack through your words, you free that energy to create abundance. When you no longer speak of others in a way that diminishes them, you create a circle of blessing that includes yourself. When you no longer voice the impossible, you open the way for the improbable and the miraculous. You will find that people are drawn to you, opportunities seek you, and solutions appear as if out of thin air. This is not coincidence. It is the natural result of aligning your speech with the law of abundance. Every word is a seed. Complaint plants weeds, gossip plants thorns, limitation plants stones, gratitude plants flowers, praise plants fruit trees, faith plants mighty oaks, and just as no gardener would knowingly plant weeds, thorns, and stones in the same bed as roses, so must you guard your speech, so that every seed is one you wish to see flourish. For once planted, words grow, whether you meant them to or not. Declare supply, wealth, and opportunity as present now, for only by claiming them in the present moment do you open the gates through which they flow. To speak of them as future promises is to keep them forever on the horizon, never arriving in your hands. The language of someday and one day is the language of delay. It instructs life to hold your good just out of reach. The language of now is the language of possession, and it commands the law to deliver without hesitation. When you say, "I have all I need," you summon the evidence of that truth. When you say, "My wealth is overflowing," you set the unseen forces to work arranging the means for it to manifest. When you say, "Opportunity is at my door," you awaken your awareness to see and step into the openings that were there all along. The mind is a faithful servant to the words you speak. It listens, it believes, and it acts as though your declarations are orders to be fulfilled. If you declare lack, the mind will seek proof of lack. If you declare abundance, the mind will seek proof of abundance. This is why the present tense is so powerful. The mind cannot distinguish between what is physically in your possession and what you have claimed as yours with conviction. It simply aligns your perceptions and actions to match your words. Declare supply now, and you will notice supply in places you once overlooked. Declare wealth now, and you will be inspired to act in ways that create and multiply it. Declare opportunity now, and you will find doors swinging open where before there were only walls. You may be tempted to wait for evidence before making such declarations, but this is to work the law in reverse. Evidence does not come first, speech does. The farmer does not wait for the harvest before planting the seed. He plants the seed in faith that the harvest will come. Your words are those seeds, and they must be planted before they can grow. If you wait until your hands are full to say, "I am abundant," you have missed the creative power of the present claim. It is the declaration made in faith, before the evidence appears, that brings the evidence into being. Wealth is not only money, it is the richness of life itself. When you declare wealth now, you declare that you live in a world overflowing with beauty, ideas, relationships, and opportunities. This declaration changes the way you carry yourself. It changes your energy, your posture, your decisions. Those who believe they have little act with caution, hesitation, and fear of loss. Those who believe they have much act with confidence, generosity, and openness to more. The very act of declaring wealth as present shifts you into the state of mind that produces it in tangible form. Opportunity is not rare, it is constant. It flows as endlessly as the air you breathe. But if you speak as though opportunity is scarce, your mind will filter out the majority of openings, leaving only a few in your awareness. If you declare that opportunity is present now, your mind will expand its search, and you will begin to see paths and possibilities where once you saw none. You will overhear the right conversation, meet the right person, read the right phrase at the right time. This is not magic, it is the natural effect of aligning your speech with the truth that opportunity is all around you. Supply is not something you must chase, it is something you must recognize. The supply for your need is already in existence, but it cannot reach you until you open the channel with your words. To say it will come someday is to keep the channel closed. To say it is here now is to open the floodgate. The form it takes may surprise you, it may come through a source you never considered, but the law works unfailingly. Declare your supply as present, and it will present itself. Every declaration you make is a seed planted in the soil of the present moment. The more often you plant, the richer your harvest will be. Do not plant once and then speak contrary words that uproot the seed. If you declare, "My wealth is constant," but later say, "I never have enough," you have torn the seed from the ground before it had time to grow. Consistency is the secret. Let your speech be unwavering, and the law will respond with the same steadiness. There is great creative power in speaking aloud what you desire as though it is here. Thought alone has power, but the spoken word carries vibration that sets creation into motion. Your voice gives life to the image in your mind, sending it forth into the world to take shape. Speak with authority. Speak as one who knows, not as one who hopes. The tone of certainty is the signature that tells the universe you are ready to receive. Do not be concerned if your current circumstances appear to contradict your declaration. Circumstances are the shadows cast by old thoughts and words. They are the residue of what you once believed and spoke. They will change as your present declarations take root and grow. The gardener does not dig up the soil each morning to see if the seed is sprouting. He tends it with patience and faith, knowing that growth is certain. Tend your declarations the same way. When doubt creeps in, reaffirm your claim. When fear whispers, speak louder. When circumstances appear stagnant, declare movement. Say, "My supply is here now." Say, "My wealth is overflowing now." Say, "My opportunities are abundant now." The repetition will fortify your faith, and your faith will bring the evidence. The law does not fail, it only waits for your command. You are the author of your reality, and your words are the pen. Write the story of your life in the present tense of abundance. Refuse to postpone your good to a future date. Claim it now, live in it now, and watch as life aligns with the reality you have declared. Declare supply, wealth, and opportunity as present now, and the present will reshape itself to match your words. Speak in faith, not fear. Your tongue directs your destiny. Every word you utter is a steering wheel, turning the course of your life toward either the shores of abundance or the reefs of lack. When you speak in faith, you align yourself with the certainty that good is on its way, that doors will open, and that every need is already met in perfect time. When you speak in fear, you give voice to doubt, strengthen the shadows of limitation, and invite into your experience the very things you wish to avoid. Faith and fear are both creative forces. One builds and multiplies, the other destroys and diminishes. Which one rules your life depends entirely on the words you choose to speak. Faith-filled speech is not about ignoring reality, it is about choosing which reality to strengthen. The circumstances you see today are the product of yesterday's thoughts and words. They are not fixed, and they are not final. If they do not please you, you must speak in a way that plants the seeds of the reality you do wish to see. Words of faith do not deny the storm, they declare the calm beyond it. They do not deny the mountain, they declare the path through it. When you say, "All things are working for my good," you are giving instructions to the unseen forces that shape your world. When you say, "I am always provided for," you are unlocking the doors to supply that might otherwise remain hidden. Fear-filled speech has the opposite effect. Every "what if I fail" is a request for failure. Every "I can't" is a command for limitation. Life is obedient. It listens to the orders given by your tongue, even when those orders are unintentional. You may think you are merely expressing a feeling, But the law of creation does not care whether the words were casual or deliberate. The moment you speak them, you set the pattern into motion. To say I am unlucky is to call misfortune to your side. To say nothing ever works out for me is to bar the door to success before it has the chance to enter. The choice to speak in faith is not always easy, especially when fear's evidence is all around you. But that is precisely when it matters most. Anyone can speak words of faith when the road is clear and the sun is shining. True mastery is shown when you speak abundance in the face of lack, healing in the face of illness, victory in the face of apparent defeat. Fear will whisper its arguments, pointing to every reason you should agree with it, but faith speaks louder, not by shouting, but by standing unshakable in its conviction. The language of faith is the language of now. It claims the blessing as already received, even when it has not yet appeared in form. It says, I am guided now, I am blessed now, I am prosperous now. Faith understands that the invisible precedes the visible, and that by declaring the invisible as present, you hasten its arrival into the seen world. Fear, on the other hand, is the language of delay. It says, maybe one day, and if I'm lucky, keeping your good forever on the horizon. Your tongue is not only steering your own life, it is influencing the lives of those around you. Words of fear can weaken the spirit of others, planting seeds of doubt where there should be hope. Words of faith can strengthen and inspire, lifting others into a higher state of belief. Be mindful that the atmosphere you create with your speech is the one you too must live in. If you fill it with worry, you will breathe it in. If you fill it with faith, you will breathe in strength. The discipline of speaking in faith requires awareness. Before you speak, ask yourself, will these words build or break? Will they draw my good closer or push it away? If they are words of fear, swallow them before they escape. Silence is far better than speech that plants weeds in your garden. If they are words of faith, speak them boldly, without hesitation, and let them take root. In time, this practice will become natural, and your speech will flow with the certainty of one who knows their destiny is in their own keeping. Fear is fed by repetition. The more you voice it, the stronger it grows. Faith is also fed by repetition. The more you affirm it, the more deeply it takes root. This is why you must be vigilant, not only to avoid speaking fear, but to continually reinforce your faith with words that align with the reality you desire. Say often, I am always guided. Say often, everything I need is on its way. Say often, I walk in abundance. Let these phrases become the rhythm of your speech until they shape the rhythm of your life. Do not wait for fear to leave before you speak in faith. Speak in faith until fear has no room left to remain. Every time you choose the words of faith over the words of fear, you are setting your course toward the life you truly want. You may still feel fear, but feeling is not the same as agreement. You agree with fear only when you give it your voice. Refuse to give it that power. You will find that as you persist in this practice, your outer life begins to reflect your inner shift. Opportunities will appear where there were none. Solutions will arrive in ways you could not have planned. The people and circumstances that once seemed against you will begin to work in your favor. This is not chance. It is the inevitable outcome of steering your life with the rudder of faith-filled speech. Guard your conversations as treasures. They shape your world. Every word you release is a currency spent, and once spent, it cannot be taken back. Just as a wise steward does not squander gold on what holds no value, so should you guard your speech against carelessness, complaint, and idle chatter. Words are builders or destroyers, blessings or burdens. They carry the power to open doors or seal them shut, to plant gardens or scatter weeds. Conversations are not simply exchanges of sound. They are exchanges of energy, shaping both your own life and the lives of those who listen. To speak is to create, and creation should never be treated lightly. If you realize that every conversation was a blueprint for your future, you would measure your words as carefully as a master architect measures his lines. Too many throw away their creative power by speaking without thought, discussing limitation as though it were truth, repeating gossip as though it were harmless, sharing fears as though they were facts. Each careless word is a seed, and no seed is without a harvest. Whether the harvest is one you welcome or dread depends entirely on the care with which you guard your speech. Guarding your conversations does not mean living in silence, but it does mean living in awareness. Every exchange you have with another person is an opportunity to build a higher state of mind for both of you. If you fill your words with gratitude, encouragement, and vision, you create an atmosphere that supports abundance, joy, and harmony. If you fill your words with complaint, criticism, and doubt, you create an atmosphere heavy with lack, discord, and delay. You are either a source of upliftment or a source of depletion, and your conversations decide which. To guard your speech is to choose your topics with intention. There are conversations that strengthen your faith, open your mind to new ideas, and deepen your sense of purpose. There are also conversations that drain you, close your mind, and scatter your focus. The wise person recognizes the difference and spends their words only where they will bring a return of good. Just as you would not deposit your money into a failing bank, you should not deposit your words into conversations that cannot yield a fruitful harvest. The company you keep will influence the conversations you have. If those around you speak constantly of what is wrong, you will find it difficult to keep your own speech pure. But if you surround yourself with those who speak of what is possible, your own words will naturally rise to match theirs. Guarding your conversations, then, often begins with guarding your associations. You cannot plant roses in a bed overrun with weeds and expect them to flourish. You must tend the garden by choosing what grows there. Even casual exchanges hold power. A moment of small talk in a shop, a brief word to a stranger, a quick response to a friend, all these are opportunities to plant seeds of blessing. A kind word spoken in passing may take root in someone's mind and grow into a decision that changes their life. A negative remark, even meant as a joke, may do the same in reverse. You may forget the conversation, but its influence continues long after it has ended. When you guard your speech, you also guard your own mind. Words spoken aloud are not only heard by others, they are heard by you. Every statement you make reinforces a belief, whether it is one you wish to hold or one you would rather release. If you continually speak limitation, you train your mind to see limitation. If you continually speak abundance, you train your mind to recognize opportunity. Your mind is shaped by repetition, and the most constant repetition it hears is the sound of your own voice. Guarding your conversations also means refusing to speak in ways that diminish others. Criticism, gossip, and judgment are poisons that eventually seep into your own life. When you speak poorly of someone, you align yourself with the very qualities you condemn, and the law of attraction brings them into your experience. Far better to bless others in your speech, even if they have wronged you. To bless does not mean to approve of harmful actions. It means to keep your own creative power pure, untainted by resentment. There will be times when silence is the greatest guard you can place over your conversations. Not every question requires an answer, and not every remark demands a response. Silence can be a shield, preserving your energy and protecting the garden of your mind from the seeds others may try to plant. Choosing not to engage in a harmful or unproductive conversation is not weakness, it is mastery. Guarding your speech is not about perfection but about direction. If you slip into complaint, you can catch yourself and redirect the conversation toward gratitude. If you find yourself speaking of limitation, you can replace it with words of possibility. The important thing is to become conscious of your speech, to recognize when it is shaping your world toward your good and when it is shaping it away from it. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes to speak only what you wish to see manifest. In time, your words will flow effortlessly toward truth, abundance, and harmony. You will find that your relationships improve, your opportunities multiply, and your circumstances shift to match the atmosphere you create with your conversations. You will become a magnet for people and situations that reflect the richness of your speech. Guard your conversations as treasures, because they are. Every word is an investment, and the returns come in the form of the life you live. Spend your words on faith, gratitude, and vision, and you will receive a life filled with them. Spend your words on fear, complaint, and limitation, and you will receive those as well. The choice is always yours, and it is made every time you open your mouth. Your world is shaped by the conversations you have, and the conversations you have are shaped by the care with which you guard them. When you guard your conversations, you guard your future. Every word you speak either builds the world you desire or strengthens the one you wish to leave behind. Choose words that carry faith, gratitude, and vision, and they will return to you multiplied. Refuse to lend your voice to anything that limits, harms, or diminishes, and you will shut the door to those very conditions in your life. Let your speech be a stream of blessing that waters every mind it touches, including your own. In time, you will see that the atmosphere you have created with your words has shaped not only your days, but your destiny. Speak as though the best is certain, and life will prove you right.